Hey folks, it's PJ from Wisconsin Air Gunners. For the last week or two, I have been experimenting with the newly released OrionCam, released by Orion the Iguana Hunter. And this morning, I had a couple opportunities to film a few clips of squirrels running around the backyard range. This guy was absolutely making a mess of things. The deer like that, but let's just say I'm not a big fan because I'm the one who has to buy the feed. So while you wait for me to reload the magazine, let's talk a little bit about what you're looking at. The camera we're using is a Firefly 8 SE, and of course you're looking through the OrionCam scope camera mount. I have that mated up to my Element Optics Helix. It's a mil reticle, 6 to 24 power. We're at about 10 power right now. As I said before, the setup is pretty new. I'd say it's about 90% ready to go. Now I could tell right here that that had not been a clean kill shot. The pellet actually impacted just a little bit low from what I was looking for. So this required a quick follow-up shot. That feeder's at about 40 yards from my bench, and I'm shooting the FX Maverick in 22 caliber. My Maverick is the compact version. Make sure you stick around to the end of the video, as I will be putting in some slow motion of that shot. This is about 25 minutes later. I've got another squirrel, and he's apparently decided he's going to clean up some of the mess from his buddy. You're going to see some change in the focus here. Anybody who's had any amount of experience with using any kind of scope camera will tell you that it can be frustrating, and part of what you have to go through is really setting up the camera and figuring out how it needs to be adjusted and how it needs to be focused. And I said before I was about 90% set with the OrionCam. I'm still going through that process of playing with the focus and figuring out just exactly how the camera needs to be set up for the kind of shooting I do. So while I'm watching that one squirrel at 40 yards, I notice that there's another one creeping up at about 20 yards. I decided to take the shot on the close one first, but I was playing around a little bit with the focus and I needed to wait for him to get out from behind that branch. Orion has used a 75-25 prism, meaning that 75% of the available light is passed on to the camera, which gives you good results in lower light conditions, and that's a lot of how I shoot. But as far as the squirrels go, the one that I was looking at before on the ground at 40 yards is now up on the feeder, and there's yet another squirrel that has come in at about 30 yards, but it's not in a stable position. So I decided to take the shot at the one on the feeder. When I went out to make the recovery, I had a fairly interesting discovery. The second squirrel, the one that I shot right in the forehead, that pellet had not, as they say, left the building. In fact, it was lodged just under the skin, just at the top edge of the diaphragm. So what we have next is a pellet recovery. I have been shooting the JSB Hades at about 906 feet per second. So that's what we're going to see the recovery on. Hey folks, we got an opportunity for a pellet recovery on this gray squirrel. It was shot with the JSB Hades. At the muzzle, we've got velocity of about 906 feet per second. And this guy was at under 20 yards. So this is actually a pretty high power shot going in. The shot went through top of the skull, and I can feel the pellet just under the skin right here. So not enough to exit, but enough to do maximum damage in the body, which is pretty much exactly what we want. So I'm going to try and get a slit cut here. And one of the things that I always am impressed by is how actually tough a squirrel is to cut through. So, pretty good expansion. You can see the petals of the Hades opened up. I'll get a caliper on there and clean that up a little bit. But we don't always get a pellet recovery opportunity. It's nice when we do. It's important to check the terminal performance of your ammunition to make sure it is meeting meeting advertisers' claims. No complaints about the performance of the Hades. If we hit the right spot, it's always a quick and clean dispatch, and this was no exception. Thanks guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Till the next time, shoot safe and shoot straight. Did you think I forgot about the slow motion I promised you? Think again. Here it comes.